British government could extend the COVID-19 vaccine rollout to include children. The number of new infections has increased by 76% in the past week.
At 12 years old, Salvador Sanchez could soon be eligible for a COVID vaccine.
I don't really mind because I was sick a few days ago. I didn't feel right. So if I had it, as long as it just keeps me safe, I'll be fine with it, to be honest. And it'll just put everything back to normals in school, so yeah.
I think if it needs to happen, it needs to happen, to be honest with you. We've just had actually his sister had COVID and the whole school shut down, and we're not sure how many cases there was, but the knock-on effect and the impact it had on the family overall was massive, so I think the sooner the better, to be honest with you.
The UK's medicines regulator, the MHRA, has approved the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for children aged 12 to 15.
We know that the vaccine both protects you and helps stop you transmitting. And so making sure that we don't have those whole bubbles having to go home and the isolation, especially as we saw over the autumn, for instance, you know, that has big upsides for education.
The Joint Committee on Vaccinations and Immunisations will now have to advise government on whether to go ahead if it's safe to do so.
Now, it's good news that the MHRA have agreed that the vaccine is safe and effective, but this is based on trial data of about 2,000 children. And what we want to do is look internationally at other countries' experience of vaccinating children, just to check that there are no safety signals emerging from their data.
Weekly tests have already been carried out at secondary schools for months now to slow down the spread of infection, and the disruption caused by lockdowns has hugely impacted people's education.
If it gets the go-ahead, it would pave the way for a mass immunisation programme in secondary schools, possibly within the next few weeks. The vaccination of the over 12s would mean that by the autumn, the vast majority of Britain would be protected from this virus.
People in their 30s are next in line for the vaccine, but in some areas with higher rates, those eligible are even younger.
We wanted to wait because we thought there were people that were more at risk than us, so that's why we waited, and it's been okay, but I think it's got to the point where we're really looking forward to being more protected.
So I was messaged via Facebook by a friend who heard as well, and I've come down just because I really want the jab and I want to get it over and done with as soon as possible.
I think the cases are rising here in UK. Till last week it was around 2,000. Now it has gone to 6,000 because of the Delta variant. So I thought it's best to get a protection.
I'll let this queue go down, Julia.
The next few weeks are being seen as critical, as there are still questions over whether the vaccine will be effective against new variants of the virus, and whether that could affect the easing of lockdown due on June the 21st.